Well, well, well. Look what we have here. Russell Brand. Back again after what, a year? It's a year now, was it, Russell? After you completely humiliated yourself on the in the British general election. You know, remember that? When you told everyone not to vote? And then you decided that they should vote again a few days before the election after it was too late to register to vote? Yeah, remember that? Oh well, here he is, back again, to give us his 2p worth on Donald Trump and a bit of Brexit. So, let's hear what he's got to say for himself.
That people no longer trust the people that say, hey, we'll look after you, it's okay, stay in Europe, it'll be alright, vote for Hillary Clinton, it's going to be better, because the people that you're talking to are already living in a kind of post-apocalyptic world, for want of a better phrase. You can't tell people that it will be terrible if we leave Europe, if the world they live in is already terrible. You can't tell people it'll be terrible to have Donald Trump in power if the world they live in is already terrible. They're not susceptible to that kind of threat.
So it seems that someone's been reading The Guardian and, yeah, parroting all the sort of liberal media that we have in the UK that sort of seeks to explain why people would have the audacity to have an opinion different to what they've been told to think for so long. And you see, Russell, this is the problem, you see. People aren't looking to government to give them a bit of a cuddle and tell them that everything's going to be all right. They want to be able to live their lives off their own back. They want to be able to do what they want to do. They want to look after their communities. They want to look after their own societies. They don't want to be told that they should be ashamed of their culture, or that if other people come in from outside due to globalisation, that they're racist if they don't like it. They don't want to sort of be surrounded by foreigners. They want change. They want nationalism. That's what they voted for.
My interpretation is the only thing they actually cared about is change. That Hillary Clinton, whatever she was offering and whatever she was saying, is a political affiliate of Barack Obama who's already in power. Barack Obama, by the way, who now seems sort of like Christ, doesn't he, compared to the people contesting this election.
Barack Obama is Christ? What? Really? I think what a lot of them are annoyed with is because Barack Obama stood for exactly the same thing that Hillary stood for. Barack Obama was a stooge of Wall Street. Barack Obama was full of dirty money. Money taken from the pharmaceutical industry, most notably. That's why he introduced Obamacare. And these people have seen their premiums going up by 50% in a year a lot of the time. Over the period of his tenure, people's premiums have doubled. And these are blue-collar workers going out to work, just trying to make a living. And that's if they're lucky. Because many of them have lost their jobs. People who work in the car industry, for instance. The NAFTA meaning their jobs moving to places like Mexico. And they can't make ends meet. And they see that this cool guy who's like really kind of slick and well-spoken and popular and all the things that Barack Obama is. I mean, yeah, he is. But that doesn't mean that he's not a Wall Street stooge like every other leader that America's had since God knows when. That's what people are rejecting. That's why they rejected Hillary. They're sick of dirty money. They're sick of vested interests. They're sick of this sort of smile on the face of someone who's ready to stab them in the back. That's what they voted against. And that's what we voted against in the UK with Brexit.
The fact that Donald Trump is President of the United States is sort of not what's important. What's important is the conditions have occurred in which Donald Trump becomes. Like, you know, so there's no point reacting to, what, Donald Trump is President of America? Yesterday, the conditions existed for it to happen. So they did 2 days ago, a month ago, a year ago, and for the last 10, 20 years, they've been building towards this moment. And what it is, and what I've always believed, and what I've said very publicly, is the political system doesn't connect with people.
Yes, Russell. People are fed up. They're fed up with the vested interests. They're fed up with the money from Wall Street buying politicians. In the UK, they're fed up of big business buying our politicians. And realising these politicians don't actually really know anything about what they're going on about, other than what they've been told to say. Yes, that's why you went on about wanting a revolution. That's why you wrote your silly book about a revolution. But rather than basing it on obviously flawed Marxist ideology, which you claim is all about love, where in reality we know history teaches us that it's all about violence, we actually did something about it. The right came along, you know, and suddenly thought, oh yeah, these lefties, yeah, they've got a point. 5 minutes later, we completely fixed the problem for you, didn't we? It's all fixed. And how did we do that? We did it peacefully, at the ballot box. That's what we did. And what's the reaction? What do we see from you guys? What's your response? Yeah, we see it, don't we? We see the Russell Brand ideology coming out now. People rioting in the streets and burning effigies of Donald Trump, burning the US flag, causing havoc, because they can't bear the idea that you want your views to be taken seriously. Take them seriously at the ballot box. Make people want to vote for you. Vote for what you believe in. It does work. And we just proved it.
That this is a time where we have to, instead of like after Brexit going, those bloody racists Brexited us, we have to go, right, let's try and reach out and understand why people feel like this and be loving and not be presumptuous. And for those of us that are privileged enough not to be that are not in financial trouble, that aren't feeling the weight and the pressure of the world and looking for someone to blame for that, and feeling like that when someone like Donald Trump comes along and in his own easy, accessible, TV-friendly way says it's because of Muslims, Mexicans, that when someone like that comes along, it seems appealing and attractive. We have to create a world where Donald Trump isn't necessary.
It's very easy, isn't it, to critique somebody for their opinions when they don't like, they don't want Muslim immigration. It's very easy when you're living in a $1 million penthouse and you're surrounded by your sort of entourage and friends and whatever. And it's very easy, isn't it? But you want to try living in all kinds of places in Europe right now, in Germany, for instance. You know, after what happened, after that idiot Merkel letting 1 million of these Syrian refugees. I mean, what did we experience? We experienced mass rapes across Europe, almost daily terrorist attacks. That's what they don't want in America. That's why they don't want Hillary Clinton, because she already said she was going to let in thousands or hundreds of thousands, even millions of these people. This is about, again, nationalism. This is about valuing what you've got. It's not about hating anyone. It's just saying, this is what we've got. This is our loyalty. Just like any rational person, you're loyal to your family and your friends, to, your town, to your, to your region, and to your country. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, especially on today, Armistice Day. I mean, what did we fight that for? We fought it so we didn't get a foreign power controlling us and telling us what to do and think all the time. It's a rejection of globalisation. We don't want to live like that. Nobody wants to live like that. Anybody with half a brain. But it's very easy when you're part of this sort of metropolitan liberal elite where you're very privileged and you're not affected by these problems to look down your nose at people. And as you're even doing now, saying, we have to make a better case and explain it a little bit better to the plebs. That's what you're basically saying. This supposedly man of the people that you claim to be. It's absolute bullshit.
Philosophically and deeply, we have to change the way we treat each other, change the way we see ourselves, change the way we talk about the world. Significant change, because the people that vote for Brexit, the people that vote for Donald Trump, even if people do think that immigration is the issue, then those of us who don't think that's the issue, we've got a duty, haven't we, to communicate in a way that is understandable, accessible, not condescending and not patronising, why we believe that this is the wrong path for the world. And we're talking to people that don't have an awful lot to lose.
You've been communicating that for quite a long time, Russell. The entire establishment has been communicating that we don't have a nation state anymore. Unless, of course, you're in the third world, then, of course, your culture's really important and your identity's really important. But if you're from the West, that you don't have a right to have a culture. You don't have a right to want to protect that and to have values. No, you're not allowed that. That's basically what we've been told. And you reckon, you've got to make the case better? No. I mean, how many mass rapes do we have to see? How many terrorist attacks do we have to see to know that, sorry, no, we don't want that? And it's not a question of hating anyone. Of course it's not. Why would it be about hating anyone? Do you hate the person who lives down the road from you? No. Does that mean that you want them to be sleeping on your couch and eating all your food and drinking all your beer? No, we don't want that either. We just want to be able to just have a nice society like we've always had, without it being threatened all the time. It's the time that people like you actually listened. Instead of explaining yourself better, change the way you think. If you think you can convince people to think like you, go for it. But currently, it's not working, is it? Anyway, That's me. I'm out.